The Supreme Court has allowed for the termination of temporary protected status affecting about 350,000 Venezuelans who had registered for TPS under the Biden administration, the 2023 designation, which expired on April 2025. The Trump administration terminated that designation and terminated the extension, and it went to court, and the federal judge put a restraining order against that termination. And then it went to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Trump administration requested expedite to go directly to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court came back down and said, no, the lower court cannot put a restraining order on this. This falls under the executive branch. They are allowed to continue to see what fits best for temporary protected status, and this falls under their job duties. So now the Trump administration has the green light to continue with their termination of TPS. Even though the case is still being litigated in the Ninth Circuit, the Trump administration can still continue with effectuating termination for TPS under the 2023 designation for Venezuelans.
The United States Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to move forward with deporting potentially up to 350,000 Venezuelan immigrants living in the United States under temporary protected status. These 350,000 Venezuelans received TPS under the Biden administration after they fled Venezuela, which is currently led by a dictator in Nicolas Maduro. Today, the Supreme Court ruled in an 8-1 decision that essentially these deportations could move forward. The cancellation of the TPS could move forward, and therefore potentially the deportations as well. Like I mentioned, this was an 8-1 decision, which means that only one justice would have denied the application. That justice was Justice Jackson. All other justices, including Justice Kagan and Justice Sotomayor, who lean left, approved the application and granted the stay.
Okay, so the Supreme Court just allowed the Trump administration to suspend, at least temporarily, and revoke the temporary protected status for Venezuelans. No? So there were at least 350,000 Venezuelans that have been allowed to remain in the United States because of humanitarian reasons. Now, remember, what this means is that this administration believes that it is okay to return back to a country where over 7 million people have fled as of May 2024 because of the incredible humanitarian crisis this country is undergoing. Another important thing to keep in mind right now is how this Trump decision affects South Florida politics. Remember that one of the reasons why Donald Trump was able to flip Miami-Dade County isn't just because of the Cuban vote, but also because of the Venezuelan vote. Now, for many, many years, Venezuelans have seen Donald Trump as a hero. The question is, what about now?
Venezuelans in the United States, your legal protections just got ripped away. The Supreme Court just gave the green light to end temporary protected status for 350,000 Venezuelans, families who built their lives here, now facing deportation. This isn't just policy, it's people's lives on the line. Communities throughout the United States, especially in Florida, are in shock. This is the beginning of a massive shift. Know your rights, talk to an attorney, follow me for more.
The Supreme Court just issued an order that cancels the temporary protected status for Venezuelan people. And why this is important is that the legal mechanism that allowed these people to stay here, because Venezuela is a level 4 big bad place according to the fucking State Department, is now gone. And even more incredible is that the only justice that put their name to deny this application is Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Rule number 1 of resisting tyranny is do not obey in advance. So the courts are not going to save us.
The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to end temporarily protected status, also known as TPS, for Venezuelans. This decision affects around 350,000 people who are living and working legally in the United States. Many of them came here to escape the crisis in Venezuela, and now their future is uncertain. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Rosemary. Kindly consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before before we get to the video, let me play a few clips on the same and I'll be back with my commentary. All credit goes to the original creators of these videos.
Venezuelans for Trump, or MAGAzuelans as you guys call yourselves. What did we tell you? We warned you, do not vote for this guy. What did you say? MAGAzuelans, we're Venezuelans for Trump. Now the Supreme Court has cleared Donald Trump and his administration to revoke TPS. That's taking away temporary protection status from about 350,000 Venezuelans. That's greenlighting more mass deportations. Biden had extended the Venezuelan lifeline till 2026 in October. But unfortunately for Venezuelans, this lady right here, Kristi Noem, clipped those wings to end here in October of 2025. Venezuelans who were given TPS, your mortgages, your work permits, all your future plans here in America have about a 5-month shelf life. So where's your exit, Venezuelans? Where's the payoff for voting for Trump? Before anybody feels bad for these Venezuelans who voted for Trump, is this you guys right here? Trump's last line of defense, the MAGAzuelans? Is that you right there? To all the Venezuelan people who thought that you had a seat at the table, now that you're done being the MAGA party's token Latinos, token brown people, now you're no longer useful. Now you served your purpose and you will be sent back to a place that the State Department still considers a level 4 country, meaning do not travel. But you're going to be sent there anyway because this right here is what you voted for. And that's it.
The Supreme Court has allowed the cancellation of the TPS for citizens of Venezuela. In a decision that is unsigned, no explanation, the Supreme Court actually granted the cancellation of the injunction that was granted by the judge in Northern California, pending, obviously, a decision from the Court of Appeal of the Ninth Circuit. What does that mean? It means that in the meanwhile, what did the administration do? You have to remember that the plaintiff went before the court, and the court actually, in the Northern District of California, granted the injunction, basically saying that the cancellation of the TPS for citizens of Venezuela will be stayed, right? Which means it's not going to go forward until we decide actually on the merit. But what the administration did, they actually appealed the decision from the judge all the way to the Supreme Court. And it just happened that the Supreme Court agreed with them. What does that mean? It means that if you are a citizen of Venezuela, then you find yourself now having your TPS canceled. Here, we're not talking about the one who already had their working permit, but we're working about the one that actually filed for a working permit lately, because there are two classes actually under the citizen of Venezuela for the TPS. But now, what do? Now we have to wait, obviously, for the Ninth Circuit to decide whether the decision from the administration not to cancel the TPS for citizens of Venezuela, was it valid? Was it actually, obviously demonstrated on the merits? We don't know, but in the meanwhile, it means that you have a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people without legal status, without the right to work, and therefore vulnerable to deportation.
Let's break this in simple terms. TPS is a program that gives people from certain countries a temporarily safe place to live in the US if there is war, disaster, or crisis back home. In 2021 and again in 2023, the US government gave TPS to Venezuelans because their country was dealing with political chaos, food shortages, and violence. But now, the protection that came from the 2023 decision has been stripped away. People who had TPS under the 2023 rule may now lose their right to work and face deportation. Imagine building a life in a country, following the rules, working hard, and then suddenly being told you don't belong here anymore. That's the painful reality Venezuelan families are dealing with today. What makes this even more heartbreaking is that it's affecting real jobs and real people. Walt Disney in Florida just put around 45 Venezuelan employees on unpaid leave. These are workers who showed up every day, did their jobs, and followed the law. Now, they are being told they have 30 days to fix their paperwork or be fired. This is not just cruel, it's unnecessary. This isn't just about paperwork, this is about people's lives. Families could be torn apart. Children who go to school here might see their parents deported. businesses will lose hardworking employees, communities will lose their neighbors, and all this is because of politics. And speaking of politics, let's begin. This was a Trump-era policy. While President Biden created this 2023 TPS designation, Trump's team fought hard in court to kill it. And now that the Supreme Court leans conservative, they sided with Trump. This is one of those moments where we just see how much elections and court decisions can affect everyday people. And now here comes the hard part to talk about. Some Venezuelan Americans actually supported Trump. They believed he was tough on socialism, and so they voted for him. Some even campaigned for him. But now, the same politician they trusted has taken away their legal protection in the US. This is what people mean when they say, be careful who you vote for. Some of those voters thought Trump would only go after other immigrants groups, but now it's coming for them too. It's a tough lesson in political reality. If someone is willing to attack one group, then they might come for you next. And now, some people might say, well, TPS is only supposed to be temporary. And sure, that's true on paper. But in real life, some of these people have been here for years. They have started families, they have opened businesses, their kids are American citizens. How is it fair to rip all that away because of a technicality or a change in leadership? Immigration shouldn't be treated like a political football. It's not just about talking point for elections. These are real human beings. And it's not just about protecting them, it's about protecting American values. To the Venezuelan communities, many of you came here with hope and courage. You trusted America to give you a chance, and now that trust feels broken. I hope you find the legal help. I hope your communities rally around you. And I hope you stay strong in the face of this injustice. And to everyone else watching, especially those who have been lucky enough not to face these problems, I hope this makes you think about who you support, about what kind of country you want to live in, and about the importance of standing up for people even when it's not your fight. We have to ask ourselves, are we okay with a system that kicks people out after they have followed every rule? Are we okay with punishing people just for being born in the wrong country? If the answer is no, then we have to speak up. And if you're one of the people who supported the politicians behind this decision, maybe it's time to reflect. Because when your own community gets burnt, you can't pretend you didn't smell the smoke. And in the end, this is about humanity. It's about dignity. It's about making sure that the American dreams doesn't become a nightmare for the people who believed in it the most. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.